Welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Chris McKay, and I'm glad to have you along as we explore and discover real solutions to our everyday problems. All right, how many of you out there are familiar with something called a reverse mortgage? You know, from what I've heard, it really sounds pretty good. Having access to cash while still owning your home sounds great, right? All right, well, I want to explore this reverse mortgage concept today and find out if this is real or just too good to be true. And with me in the studio today is Paul Fiore, Senior Vice President of Lending with American Advisors Group, which is the #1 reverse mortgage lender in the country. He's here today to help demystify reverse mortgages and give us the facts that we all need to know. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chris. It's great to be here.
You know, before we get started, Paul, maybe you could tell us a little bit about American Advisors Group and how you are helping seniors across the country.
Sure. American Advisors Group was founded in 2004. We are licensed in 48 states, and we are a member of the National Reverse Mortgage Lenders Association. AAG only does reverse mortgages. It's the only thing that we do. We're currently the #1 provider of reverse mortgages in the country.
You know, I was listening to Fred Thompson. He's a former senator, and I have to tell you, he's a real advocate for reverse mortgages. But, what he's talking about almost sounds too good to be true, right? Because you're able to get cash out of your home, make no monthly payments, and yet still own your home. So, Paul, I got to ask, what's the catch here?
It's always the question, what's the catch? There is no catch. It's a loan, just like any other loan. It's just the way they designed the reverse mortgage was for seniors 62 and over to be able to unlock the equity in their home without having to make a payment. You use the money as you need to and as you choose to. And then when the last borrower leaves the home and it's no longer their primary residence, the loan with interest becomes due.
And maybe that's what's tripping me up, is that it is very different from what I'm accustomed to when you talk about loans. And maybe we can talk about this a little bit. What exactly is then a reverse mortgage? How does this work?
It is designed for the senior in mind. Most traditional loans are not designed for the seniors to qualify at 70 years old, 75 years old. Mm-hmm. This loan is specific for seniors to help them age in place.
Are there any limitations, Paul, as to what you can use the money for?
You can use the money for anything that you choose to. It is your money.
If I want to go buy a bright yellow Mustang, I could go do that?
Yeah, buy a pink one. It's your choice, but you can use the money for whatever you want. Our typical senior pays off the mortgage that they have on their home. They get rid of the credit card debt that they may have accumulated through the years, pay off some medical debt, and then utilize the remaining money that they have to enjoy their retirement years, whether that's taking a vacation, buying a car, going out and having a nice dinner every once in a while with their loved one. Do what you want. It's your money. You're retired. You've earned it. That's what it's for.
You mentioned something here that you said pay off a mortgage. What if you were already paying a monthly mortgage? You can still take advantage of a reverse mortgage? I don't quite understand that.
Absolutely. The #1 thing when you go to qualify for reverse mortgages, you have to have enough equity to qualify.
Okay.
But you may have 25 more years to go, 20 years to go on that mortgage. As long as you have enough equity in your home, you will pay off that mortgage that you're making a payment on a monthly basis, and then whatever's left over is yours.
You mentioned that the reverse mortgage was really specifically designed or set up for seniors. Who should consider then a reverse mortgage? Is there like a perfect candidate?
I think if you're 62 and over, and you're concerned about your retirement years and whether you have enough money to help you for the next 15, 20 years, you should consider the reverse mortgage as an option.
Well, and I agree. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show today, because I do think this is an option that so many people can consider. And maybe we talk about that a little bit. How can someone listening today take advantage of this reverse mortgage opportunity?
Well, the first thing you want to do is call AAG.
And folks, we'll give that number out in just a little bit.
So to take advantage, what you want to do is you want to call. You get a free educational video that gives you the basics of the reverse mortgage and how it works. You must be 62 and over, and you must own your home as your primary residence and have enough equity to qualify. An AAG professional will help you figure out what you qualify for and if it makes sense.
And what are some of the advantages and benefits that typically you're talking about with a reverse mortgage?
The #1 benefit is you don't have to make a payment on the money. When you get a reverse mortgage, you unlock the equity in your home. You don't have to make a monthly payment. You continue to own the home as you did prior to getting a reverse mortgage. The cash that you're unlocking is tax-free. You don't repay the loan until the last borrower leaves the home. The reverse mortgage was designed to help you age in place, so it is a retirement planning tool. And you can use the money for however you choose. Pay medical bills, pay off credit card debt, get rid of your mortgage payment, do some home improvements or renovations, or as we said earlier, enjoy life. Take a vacation.
Yeah, and have that financial security. You know, we have a saying on the show is that you're as good as your customers say you are. Are there some comments that you could share with us today from some of your customers that have taken advantage of the reverse mortgage?
Absolutely. Actually, if you're okay with it, I'd like to share a personal story of
Sure.
my parents 2 years ago got a reverse mortgage.
Really?
Yeah, and this was not a decision that was made because they were in a destitute situation. It was probably something many people on this program listening have experienced. My father retired in his early 50s because he worked on the docks in Brooklyn loading trucks, and it took a toll on his back. So my dad retired and had his pension set up nicely, and over the course of the years, we went through the financial downturn, and his pension has gotten cut 3 different times. His medical insurance, which was fully covered by the pension plan, he now has to pay into every month. They said, hey, why don't we look at this reverse mortgage? Because although we're paying our bills and we're making ends meet, my dad said, I'm worried about having enough money for the next 15, 20 years. And now he has this line of credit that's available to him whenever he needs it. And my parents are living a life that they don't have the worry that they had before they took the reverse mortgage.
That's awesome. That's great. And I understand, too, that former Senator Fred Thompson's mother actually took advantage of a reverse mortgage as well.
She did. And what's really wonderful about it is, you know, obviously everyone sees Fred on TV promoting reverse mortgages.
Right.
But what's really wonderful is he saw firsthand the benefits of what it accomplished for his mom. Not only is he just a spokesperson, but he's a customer and he loves the product. That's why he speaks so well about it.
Wow, that's really great. All right, folks, look, if you've just joined us, we've been talking to Paul Fiore. He's the Senior Vice President of Lending with American Advisors Group, which is one of the leading reverse mortgage lenders in the country. We've been talking about some of the intricacies of the reverse mortgage. And Paul, maybe for someone who's just joining us here, can we talk a little bit about, again, what exactly is a reverse mortgage and how can you use it?
Absolutely. A reverse mortgage is designed for seniors 62 and over. And it's a way for them to unlock the equity that's trapped in their home and provide them tax-free cash without having to make any monthly mortgage payments while still owning their home. The nice thing is they don't have to pay back the loan until the last remaining borrower moves out of the home. So you essentially get to use your home to stay in your home, or age in place, as I like to say.
You know, I did some research prior to you coming on the show, Paul, and, you know, I have to tell you, from my standpoint of going on the internet and trying to learn about these things, it was really, really confusing. So I'd like to kind of play a little game here. Let's say we'll call it myth versus facts. So can we play on this a little bit?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay. The first myth is the lender owns the home. When you do a reverse mortgage, you no longer own the home.
It's the number one myth that you hear about reverse mortgages. People say, I don't want to do a reverse mortgage because I don't want to sell my house to the bank. I turn around and say, you're not selling your house to the bank. A reverse mortgage is no different than any other mortgage. You continue to maintain ownership of your home.
All right. What about this one? Your children are responsible for repaying the loan.
That's also a myth. The home pays off the loan. So with a reverse mortgage, you don't make a monthly payment. When the last borrower either moves from the home or passes, it is settled by either the sale of the home or the refinance of the home. It is not the responsibility of the children to pay off the debt.
All right. What about this one? Once I get the cash out of my home, I have to pay taxes on them.
That's also a myth. The money is tax-free.
Did you hear that, everybody? It's tax-free. Where else are you going to go for tax-free cash? What about this one? The home must be free and clear of any existing mortgage.
So that's a myth. You have to pay off the existing mortgage when you get a reverse mortgage.
But you can do that out of the proceeds of the reverse mortgage, right?
Correct. So you're going to qualify for a certain amount of money with a reverse mortgage. We're going to take a portion of those proceeds to pay off your existing mortgage, and then the remaining proceeds are yours to use as you choose.
Got it. Here's another one. Only financially strapped people need reverse mortgages.
It's the most frustrating myth that I've heard because when you're in our industry and you've written as many reverse mortgages as AAG has, you see firsthand how this is not for the financially destitute, that it is truly a financial planning tool. It is something that people are using every single day.
This one I found fascinating. If I outlive my life expectancy, I can be kicked out of my home.
That is an absolute myth. The responsibility you have in your home doesn't matter if you're 62 years old or if you're 105 years old. As long as you pay your property taxes and insurance and you maintain your residence, you stay in your home. It's a shame that that might be a myth that people think the lender would evict someone who outlives the life expectancy. Congratulations. I think we all want to outlive our life expectancy.
Right. That's right. Exactly. So, Paul, we've talked about how a reverse mortgage works and being able to get cash out of your home so that you can use it to live, to enjoy whatever it is you want to use it for. We haven't really talked about how much you can get. Is that something that we could talk about a little bit?
Probably the number one question someone asks me when they call is, how much do I qualify for?
Okay.
It really varies upon individual situations. The older you are, the more money you're going to qualify for, but typically it's anywhere between 50 to 70% of the value of your home.
What are some of the real benefits and advantages that you see that your customers are able to take advantage of with a reverse mortgage?
The number one thing that I think anybody that gets a reverse mortgage will tell you, the beauty of a reverse mortgage, you do not have to make a monthly payment for as long as you live in the home. You own your own home. You are not selling your home to the bank. The cash that you're receiving is tax-free. You do not repay the loan until the last borrower leaves the home. The reverse mortgage, and I really try to emphasize this, it lets you age in place. It's very important. People understand this is not a loan of last resort. It is a retirement planning tool. And you can get to use the money for however you choose. If you need to pay off your medical expenses, you have to pay off a mortgage, pay credit card debt, maybe do some renovations in the house, or do some of the fun things we talked about, buy a new car, go on a vacation, enjoy your retirement years. So that is really what a reverse mortgage is for.
What are some of the other comments that you get or feedback that you get from people that you've been able to help?
This is why I love doing what I do. It's the best part of my job, getting phone calls and letters about how a reverse mortgage help people age in place, stay in their home, get rid of debt, be able to do things they always wanted to do. There's so many wonderful stories. I did bring a couple of letters with me to share with your listeners.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you could share those. Great.
Sure. I have a letter here from Mary from Arizona. She wrote us and said, "We recently finalized a reverse mortgage through your reverse mortgage professional. He was patient and listened to all of our concerns. He answered every question we had and made us feel confident with our decision. We're now able to do the things we always wanted to do, and we are really thankful for this program." And then Anne from Virginia, she wrote, "I want to thank you for helping me obtain a reverse mortgage. It's been 3 months that I've had it now, and I have peace of mind knowing that the money is here when I need it. I was able to pay down my credit card debt, get my car repaired, and make home improvements around the house."
Well, folks, I don't know about you, but I'm really learning a lot here about how a reverse mortgage works. And basically, a reverse mortgage allows you to get the cash out of your home, make no monthly payments, and yet you still own your home. And we've been talking with Paul Fiore. He's the Senior Vice President of Lending with American Advisors Group, which is one of the leading reverse mortgage lenders in the country. And I want to get back into this, Paul, a little bit. Why is a reverse mortgage, let's say, a better option over a home equity line?
It is common for people to associate getting money from their home with a home equity line or even refinancing their existing mortgage. What we tell people at AAG is you're still having to make a payment every month. And if you're refinancing and taking more money out, your payment may go up. So you're not solving the problem. You're putting a Band-Aid on. So getting a reverse mortgage accomplishes exactly what somebody was trying to do. Tapping into the equity, helping solve a financial need, and not having to make a payment.
You know, that's an interesting point, Paul, and something that I think we should reinforce. I mean, a reverse mortgage isn't just for people in financial trouble, right?
Not even close. I alluded to my family earlier. My parents were not in financial trouble. They were making sure that they weren't going to have financial trouble. So they were preparing themselves for their retirement years.
Yeah. And maybe for someone that just joined us, Paul, we can talk briefly about the advantages and benefits of reverse mortgages. Again, these are tools that can be used as part of retirement and something that you absolutely should at least understand, I think. And what are some of those advantages, Paul, that people should understand?
When you get a reverse mortgage, you have no monthly payment. So for as long as you live in your home, you have access to the money in your house, the equity that's kind of locked up today, and you can draw it on a monthly basis. You can take lump sum payments, but you don't have a payment. That's extremely important. You maintain the ownership of your home. It is yours. It is not the bank's. The money that you're using is tax-free. You don't have to repay the loan until the last borrower leaves the home. The reverse mortgage is a retirement planning tool. It lets you age in place. And you can use the money for whatever you choose. Pay off your medical bills, pay credit card debt, get rid of a mortgage payment, So many different things, but actually enjoy your retirement years, because I don't think anybody sat home, at 70, 75 years old and said, hey, I want to work for 40 years and then just sit home and not be able to enjoy my life. I don't think that was anyone's goal.
Exactly.
It's not my goal, that's for sure.
I completely agree with you, Paul. Hey, I'm going to put you on the spot here for a minute, because reverse mortgages are something that a few people or a few companies are offering. Why should someone consider AAG as their source for reverse mortgages?
So AAG only does reverse mortgages. It's the only thing that we do. We're currently the number one provider of reverse mortgages in the country. I make sure that education is the number one priority for our seniors. So when we get on the phone with our client base, we want to educate you on your situation, bring every decision maker into the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's come to a conclusion whether this makes sense. But we really try to take the time to come to a good decision together. We pride ourselves in it. When you call AAG, the customer experience that you would receive is beyond question. I do have a letter that I received from actually the caregivers, the daughters of our client. And let me read this for you. Daughters of Mary and Alvin in Louisiana. I'd like to give high gratitude and high appreciation for the professionalism and the personal experience that was provided to my parents throughout this process. I hope that when I become my parents' age, that this will be offered to me and my siblings. Please continue doing what you're doing, because you have definitely taken some financial burden off of my parents. The smile they have on their faces, with the home improvements they are now able to pursue, and the medical care that they now afford, is just breathtaking. To me, that's what it's about.
Well, if you're just joining us, I've been talking to Paul Fiore. He's the Senior Vice President of Lending with American Advisors Group, which is one of the leading reverse mortgage lenders in the country and endorsed by Senator Fred Thompson. And we've really been kind of grilling Paul a little bit today about these reverse mortgages and trying to find a catch, because, this all sounds really, really good. I mean, being able to get cash out of your home, make no monthly payments, and still own your home. But I think it's important to understand that reverse mortgages are not new. I mean, they have existed for some time, right?
They're not new. They've been around for over 25 years as we know them today. They're federally insured loans. There's no catch. We've been trying to find the catch here. There's no catch. It's a loan just like any other loan. You just don't make a monthly payment on it. And that's why it's designed for seniors 62 and over.
Paul, I've got a little factoid for you here. I was doing some research for the show. I turned up a little known fact about reverse mortgages. Did you know that the first ever recorded reverse mortgage loan was written in 1961 by the local savings and loan here in Portland, Maine, which is the home of our broadcast facility here. It was actually made to a widow of the town's high school football coach, helping her to stay in her home despite the loss of her husband's income. Isn't that interesting?
That is something I had no idea. That is a very interesting fact.
Neither did I. Paul, you mentioned that you need to be 62 years old to take advantage of a reverse mortgage. But let me ask you this. Are you ever too old to get a reverse mortgage?
Think about it. As we get older, unfortunately, our bills don't decrease.
Right, exactly.
So why would you sell yourself short of the opportunity of getting a reverse mortgage to help pay those bills?
Paul, maybe we can just sum up. What are those advantages and benefits of a reverse mortgage?
No monthly payments whatsoever as long as you live in the home. You continue to own it just as you did prior to the reverse mortgage. There is no difference. The money you unlock in your home is tax-free. The reverse mortgage lets you age in place, and you can use the money for whatever you want. You can pay medical bills, you can pay credit card debt, you can do home renovations and repairs, or you can have some fun. You can go on vacation, take a cruise, go visit family you haven't seen in a very long time, buy a new car. I mean, do what you need or want to do with the money, and that's the beauty of the reverse mortgage. It's your money. Do what you want.
I think that's so important, Paul, is what this really comes down to is being able to have that financial freedom to not have to worry about those kinds of financial issues, right?
That's right. And you can never discount what it feels like for somebody daily to worry about their financial situation. When you tell someone how much money they qualify for, the first thing you think about is the dollars, but what you don't think about is how those dollars impact their life.
Right.
And how much better that life becomes when they have the ability to do more than they were doing before. And I can tell you, we've done our surveys, and this is not me saying it, it comes directly from our customers. 93% of AAG customers say they were satisfied with the service, But even more importantly, 94% would consider recommending a reverse mortgage with AAG to a friend. So I know that it impacts people's lives in a very positive way.
Right, exactly. Paul, unfortunately, look, we only have a few minutes left here. Is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners today?
What is important for everyone to understand is that if you are looking at your retirement planning options, or say you've already been retired for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and you kind of just go by your day-to-day, and you're trying to figure out what your options are, you should never discount the potential of what a reverse mortgage can do. Because a reverse mortgage is not a loan of last resort. It is not just for the destitute. It is a powerful tool that allows people to truly enjoy their retirement years. And I really encourage you to think about this as an option for you to help maybe make changes to your retirement years as opposed to doing things you didn't want to do. Before you go back to work for a second job, before you decide you're going to sell your house because you have no choice, you should pick up the phone or go online and research the reverse mortgage with AAG, because it may be the best decision you could have made.
Well, Paul, I think that's great advice. And look, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the show with us today and clear up a lot of these questions and misconceptions that we've had and really set us straight as it relates to the opportunities with a reverse mortgage from AAG. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's been a great time speaking to you.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in again next week for another great show. I'm Chris McKay. Have a great day, everybody.